Hey dads, Dr. Greg Popchak here with episode 46 of the Bedaditudes. And I want to talk today about feeling overwhelmed as a dad. And I'm preaching to myself here. I'm just getting over the flu. I was basically horizontal for the last week, and we're starting this week. And just the pile of things that kind of, pile up whenever you've not been able to do your job for a whole week gets a little overwhelming. So I thought, I'd preach to myself and also share some of what I'm trying to do to be a little less overwhelmed as I get back into the land of the living. And I think it's, this is something that we all deal with, all the time, right? And I think that these 3 steps that I want to share with you are what I hold on to when I'm feeling stressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like it's all piling up, how to hold on to that sense. And I think that the two, the Bedaditudes that this relates to, number one, blessed are the dads who are poor in spirit. And secondly, blessed are the dads who are peacemakers. Because the first part, and those of you who went through the Bedaditudes series, which make up the first, 12 or so episodes of the Bedaditudes, I know that the idea of being a dad who's poor in spirit means that you're free with the knowledge that you don't know what you're doing. None of us know what we're doing. We're making this up as we go. And that, yes, we have some experience, and yes, we can learn, and yes, we can grow. But the reality is every day is a new day. Every day presents new challenges, and we don't know what every day is holding in store for us. And so we have to be receptive to the Holy Spirit guiding us through and leading us. And so the second Bedatitude that this relates to is blessed are the dads who are peacemakers, because being a peacemaker is all about seeking the tranquility that results from right order, as St. Augustine put it. And so how do we rightly order the way we think about stress, the way we think about events, so that we can be, more effective and really pursue that peace in the middle of the chaos? So there are 3 steps that I wanted to share with you that help me do that, and that I think will help you as well, because it helps my clients when I'm working with them through these kinds of things as well. The first step is remember to not power through on your own. And I've had to learn this the hard way. I used to, I get a lot done. I've written 20 books. I run a counseling practice. I do a daily radio program. There's a lot going on in addition to my wife and kids, right? Just like you. Lots of stuff. But my personal tendency is to just kind of get up and I'm going to plow through this. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to do the thing. And I'm proud of myself for being able to accomplish a lot of stuff. But I realized there are lots of times in my life where I do that and I get worn out and I get frustrated and I get angry and I get crabby and I'm not a lot of fun to be around. And nobody wants that, right? But I find that when I give myself permission to not plow through on my own first, when I remember that Bedatitude that I need to be poor in spirit, that I need to be at peace, I'm able to say, okay, Lord, help me to approach this day, this stressful situation, this stressful week, this experience of being overwhelmed. Lord, help me to approach this the way you want me to. Show me how to respond to it in a way that allows me to be my best self, that allows me to stay connected to you, that allows me to stay close to the people that you've placed in my life, to be the husband you want me to be, the father you want me to be. Help me to do these things in a way that makes me the man you're calling me to be. Right? So I'm giving it to God from the beginning, not just once, but all the way through. Anytime I start feeling like I'm losing that again, okay, God, deep breath. In this moment, help me figure out how you want me to respond to this. 5 minutes later, okay, Lord, help me now know how to respond to this. I am letting God lead me through it. I am imagining him holding my hand and taking me through, as opposed to me being that hard charging bull that's going to plow through on my own, and then God's going to clean up the mess behind me. Right? And that's my temptation. That's where I naturally want to go. I've had to learn to just wait on the Lord and let him lead me into that battle, through that stressor, through that problem. And every step of the way, anytime I start feeling overwhelmed, I got to remind myself, close your eyes, take that breath, give it to God, ask him to teach you how to respond to this now. That is so important because I can't tell you the difference that it makes in my attitude. The fact that it gives me permission to pace myself differently. The fact that it gives me permission to let go of certain things that I just need to let go of because it doesn't really matter or it doesn't need to be done right now or that way. It allows me to have a much more intentional, healthy, balanced perspective on the stuff that needs to get done. And as I said, I'm recovering from the flu, and it's my first day back to work after about a week, and I got a ton of stuff that I have to do, and I am doing this through all of it, and it's making all the difference in the world. The second step is stay connected to God and the people around you. We get stressed when we feel disconnected, right? The brain is actually wired to be anxious unless we feel connected to people. And I've shared this before with you. From an evolutionary standpoint, if I'm alone, I'm in danger, right? If I'm walking through the woods, I'm on my own, something's going to leap out and eat me if I'm not on heightened alert. Right? But if I'm walking with my tribe, people have my back. I can relax and enjoy the walk. Okay. So when I'm feeling overwhelmed, that means that I need to stay close to the people around me. So I'm checking in with my wife. How you doing, honey? What is there something I can do for you? Could I have a hug? Can I give you a hug? I'm checking in with the kids. Hey guys, come here. Let's give each other a quick cuddle. Hey guys, could you all pray over Dad? I'll ask them to pray over me. And because we're in the habit of giving each other blessings at home, the kids know what I mean when I ask them to pray over me. And so I'm able to say, I could really use some prayers today. Would you guys mind praying over me? And this is separate from, say, our morning prayer time or our evening prayer time. It's just, in the middle of a job that I'm doing that I'm getting frustrated by. I'm really having a hard time with the car, or I'm really having a hard time with this thing I'm trying to fix. Can you pray over me? Just little ways to stay connected. If I know that I'm going to have to go in and work on a project, I might take 10 minutes to just hang out with the kids before I do, to remind myself of why I'm doing this. How do I find a little way to stay connected to my wife, to my kids, to remind myself that I'm not alone, that I have people who love me, that I'm not just a human doing, that has to, act and work and grind myself down to nothing so that I come out of the door and I'm exhausted and I don't want to see any of them. Right. If I can go into that project knowing that they love me, I can remember to come out and find ways to stay reconnected with them at that point too. But if I just plow through it and I'm just doing until I run myself down, then I got nothing left. Right. So reminding myself to stay connected to the people that love me, excuse me, sorry, so that I can, really just remember who I am as a husband, as a father, as the man God wants me to be. And the third tip is if I know that I'm going to go into a stressful time where I'm going to feel overwhelmed, or that we as a family are going to go into a stressful time that I know we're going to be overwhelmed, I want to exercise that leadership in my home by saying, guys, let's talk about how we're going to get through this today together. And that could be anything from, I know that tomorrow's going to be a stressful day. Let's talk about how we can make sure to take care of each other while we go through that, to we're going into the holidays and it's going to be a stressful couple of weeks getting everything ready and having to travel to so-and-so, and we're going to be all off our schedules. What do we need to do to try to make sure we're taking care of each other? And let's get I'm going to call everybody together and we're going to generate ideas. What do we need to do to take care of each other? And how do we know that? Well, in past times when we've gone through this, what do we wish would have been different? How do we wish we would have responded differently? What do each of us wish that we'd gotten from each other? Or what as we think about it, what might we like from each other to be able to get through this next time? So, we're really trying to think in a solution-focused way about this. What most people do is we just plow through it, come out the other side however we come out, and say, thank God that's over, and then forget about it until the next time it happens. We don't learn anything from it. But if I can go into it intentionally and say, I know this day, this week, this month, this phase of life is going to be stressful. What do we need to do to be taking care of each other and, making sure that we're showing up for each other through this? That enables us to make a real plan so that we can show up as a team, right? And be there through the whole thing for each other. And that's so important. I can't tell you the number of conversations, and now, I'm recording this right before Thanksgiving. I remember lots of times when Lisa and I had this conversation when we were either going to visit her family or mine. That was always a little bit of a stressful time. What do we need to do to take care of each other when this aunt or this uncle or this relative or brother or sister irritates us or frustrates us in some way? How do we handle that together? How do we take care of each other when the kids start getting a little antsy because they're off their feed? Being clear about taking care of each other through those things. When we've gone through difficult times, we've had this conversation as long as that time has lasted, at least every day. What do we need to do to take care of each other today as we're going through this? All of us are really having a hard time. This was really tough. What do we need from each other today? This is an extension of that liturgy of domestic church life practice that we talk about both in the rite of Christian relationship, prompt, generous, consistent, and cheerful attention to each other's needs. And the first practice in the third rite of reaching out, generous service at home, asking that question: what's one small thing that each of us could do to try to take better care of each other today, or help each other have an easier, more pleasant day? It's just an extension of that idea to stressful situations. When you feel like you're a team going through stress together, it's a lot easier to bear. So those 3 tips I'm really holding on to right now as I re-enter my work week after being sick for a while. But it's something that I've done through holidays, through difficult days, through times when I know that the schedule's just, thrown in the fireplace. And it works. It makes such a difference. So I really want to encourage all of you, especially as we're going into this holiday season, if that's when you're watching it, to try to keep these tips in mind. Number 1, don't plow through on your own. Continue to bring it to God. Ask Him to lead you through it, not just to bless the mess that you leave behind as you plow through on your own. But lead me. Show me how to get through this, Lord. Show me how to be the man you want me to be as I respond to these challenges. Help me to respond to them in the way you want me to. And number 2, make sure that you're maintaining your connections. Making sure that you are looking for little ways to keep the people you love with you as you're going through that thing. And then finally, as an extension of that, having those conversations. What do we need to do to take care of each other while going through this stressful time? These 3 tips, I think, will really make a huge difference in your life. And if there's more that we can do to support you, don't hesitate to reach out with your questions in the Questions and Coaching channel on the Catholic Home app. That's Catholic HOM, Households on Mission. Hope to see you there and continue the conversation. God bless.